Hi everyone, my name is Ethan. I want to welcome you to Preclinical Pearls. I'm the creator of this channel. I'm also a first year medical student, which will be relevant in a bit. I'll explain. Before I sort of explain, what the heck is this channel, I want to talk about the title. And it's sort of a play, it's sort of based off this idea of clinical pearls, what a clinical pearl is. And we gotta ask, what is a clinical pearl? A clinical pearl is a small bit, a little anecdote of clinical information based on an experience or observation that providers had. So this is not some kind of massive, randomized controlled trial, but it's like a story. It's like an anecdote that nonetheless can be instructive in clinical practice. So that begs the question then, Ethan, okay, that's a clinical pearl. What is a preclinical pearl? It's something I made up, right? I have to be honest. It's not actually a real term apart from my imagination, but it's sort of inspired by that idea of clinical pearls in that, as I mentioned before, a bit awkwardly, I'm a first year medical student, which means I'm being taught this preclinical curriculum, this large body of knowledge that covers anything from protein to public health. And within that curriculum, this channel will cover pearls, little nuggets of knowledge, focused in on these nuggets to try to explain them to you through these videos. So other channels may provide, better surveys, something like that, but I intend to provide these sort of relatively detailed and focused information and lectures on specific concepts and ideas. Before I talk more about the channel itself, I want to make an admission, right? I want to tell you the truth and be honest about what this channel will not be. As I mentioned twice now, I think, I'm a first year medical student, which means what? I know just enough to be dangerous, right? I've been taught, I think I'm learning a lot, and I am learning a lot, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a PhD. I don't really know much, right? I'm not an expert. So as Shakespeare said, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. I don't know, and I don't really think I'm a wise man, but I do know I'm a fool. So what you have to understand about this channel is that I do not bring a lot of expertise to the table. You're not getting sort of the analysis of an expert when I talk about the concepts and ideas that I'm going to discuss on this channel. So that's admission number one. Admission number two is that this channel will not have high production value. This is a real screenshot, an authentic, genuine screenshot of my actual handwriting and notes for class. And as you can tell, it's completely illegible. I will do my best to write more clearly when it comes to diagrams that I'm going to, when I'm trying to explain stuff on these lectures, but let's be honest, it's not going to be aesthetically pleasing. And that's only made worse by the fact that I don't really have these advanced tools to work with. This is almost entirely built off Google Slides and recorded on Zoom, which means when it comes to special effects, the best I can do are little animations like this one. Probably see animations like that throughout many of these videos. And furthermore, to make things worse, I'm not really working with a massive budget, right? My annual budget for this channel is a grand total of $0.00. So just sort of reviewing the admissions I've made, I'm not an expert. This is not going to be high production value. This will not be high budget. Additionally, what will this channel not be? It's not going to be comprehensive. In comparison or in contrast to channels like Crash Course that can literally make sort of surveys, classes almost, that cover a wide breadth of topics with good comprehensive coverage, I won't be able to do that because, I don't have time, I don't have resources, and I don't have the will, I guess, to do that. Instead, I will cover a wide breadth of topics, but the coverage won't be comprehensive. I'm going to cover specific topics with a decent amount of depth, but that's going to be, here and there. It's going to be pearls of knowledge, not, a sea of knowledge, not everything that needs to be covered with a high level of comprehensiveness. So just again, to review the admissions I've made, not an expert, not high production value, not high budget, not comprehensive. And if I'm being honest with you, that's a lot of flaws. You might be asking, Ethan, what do you have to offer? Why should I watch this channel? And honestly, that's a good question to ask. Why should you watch this channel? It's a question I'm asking myself at times. Let me try to sell this channel to you briefly, right? What do I have to offer? The first thing is, as I've mentioned many times, I'm a medical student. And that means that, yes, while I may not be an expert, I'm not, let's be very, very clear, I am learning a lot of topics, a wide breadth of biomedical topics with a decent degree of depth. And I intend to convey that depth through this channel, right? This is going to be the product of all the stuff I'm learning in class, plus my own research on the side, plus talking to professors, plus, just trying to fully understand these topics before I can teach them, because it really does require a high level of understanding to teach something rather than just, listen to it in lecture. That's sort of the level of understanding I want to convey to you all, right? So the advantage of this channel is that I'll be able to talk about a pretty wide breadth of topics, and I'll cover the topics I do cover, I'll cover them with some depth. Hopefully more depth, or ideally more depth than your average undergraduate class or college class, because after all, I am a graduate student, at least on paper. Technically, I am a graduate student. And if I'm doing my job right, the depth of these videos will exceed that of a normal undergraduate class. And that's sort of the advantage, the plus of this channel. In addition, these videos aim to be relatively entertaining. I bring, a pretty solid track record from speech and debate. I've done a lot of speeches that make me hopefully somewhat allegedly engaging. In addition to that, I have a good amount of teaching experience delivering PowerPoints, dumb PowerPoints, just like this one. So I hope to use those experiences and skills and whatever to make these presentations at least a little bit entertaining. And to sort of conceptualize where I see these presentations sitting, I made this plot. I call it the education or entertainment education plot. With this axis, y-axis being entertainment value, x-axis being educational value. If you think of a Netflix rom-com as very entertaining and not very educational, you might be disagreeing and say educational, but I don't think it's educational. If you think of doing chores as not very educational and pretty boring, and you think of a textbook as pretty educational, but very boring, I aim to be right here. I'm not so conceited as to think I'll be in this upper right-hand corner, but if I can just be, somewhat entertaining and somewhat educational, that's the goal of this channel. If I am able to achieve that, I would consider that a win. So if we're taking a step back, this channel's raison d'etre, right? That's a big word. I'm a history major, so I like to use big words, but I don't even know if I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I didn't. This channel's reasons for existence is to do three things: span a wide variety of topics within biomedicine, again, that preclinical curriculum, select specific topics rather than just surveying a ton of stuff, and cover them with some depth, again, hopefully at a quote-unquote graduate school level, and be somewhat entertaining. Because again, I have fun making these. If that's not clear, I enjoy this, and hopefully I could provide some entertainment to you as well. So if we're sort of taking a step back, I want you to think about the words of Kobe Bryant. I'm going to focus on one thing and one thing only, not winning championships, but covering specific topics with clarity and a dash of dumb, hopefully funny stories. So that's the pitch. That's the sell. You're going to see on this channel a wide variety of relatively in-depth, supposedly entertaining lectures. I encourage you to explore the channel. Depending on when you watch this, there may be one or a couple or many videos, maybe even on the site or on the channel, but I encourage you to do that. And again, I want to reinforce, if you have any suggestions, ideas, please feel free to comment. In addition, if I make mistakes, which definitely can happen, because again, I'm not an expert, I am a fool, please feel free to correct me. Please feel free to call me out. I'm very open to suggestions, feedback, and the like. So yes, have a good time. Enjoy the channel. Hopefully, learn something maybe. Here are the credits. One last thing I want to mention. Apologies if I missed citations here or in other videos. I want to make this very clear. These videos are not monetized. I make no money from this. Please do not sue me. Just comment, email me, whatever. If there's an issue, I'll rectify it. So with that out of the way, hope you have a good day. And yeah, check the channel if you like. If you don't, it's nice to talk to you. Take care. Bye-bye.